I never believed in real horror stories. I always thought people exaggerated things for attention, until the night I accepted a job that paid too well to be normal. It was a night shift job in a small American town. Population so low, even Google Maps hesitated to find it. The house was old, not vintage old, but the kind of old that feels tired of standing. The owner didn't explain much. He just said, "Stay inside from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., watch the house, and whatever you hear, ignore it." That should have been my first warning. When I arrived, the sun was already going down. The house stood alone, surrounded by trees that blocked out the road completely. No neighbors, no streetlights, just silence. As he handed me the keys, the owner paused. His voice dropped. "There's only one rule," he said. "Never go into the basement after midnight." I laughed. Basements never scared me. He didn't laugh back. When his car disappeared down the road, I realized something terrifying. I had never asked why the last caretaker quit, and that's when the house went quiet. Too quiet. For the first hour, nothing happened. No noises, no movement. Just the sound of the clock on the wall, ticking louder than it should have. I walked through the house, checking every room like I was told. Living room, kitchen, hallway. Everything looked normal. Too normal. At exactly 12:17 a.m., the temperature dropped. Not slowly, instantly. I felt it on my skin. That's when I heard it. A dull thud coming from under the floor. One step, then another, slow, heavy, coming from the basement. I froze in the hallway, listening. The sound stopped the moment I held my breath. I told myself it was just the house settling. Old houses make noise, right? Then the sound came back, closer this time. And I realized something that made my stomach turn. Whatever was down there wasn't trying to come up. It was already moving around, directly beneath me. I stood there for a long time, staring at the floor, waiting for the sound to come back. It didn't. That somehow made it worse. I tried to laugh it off, telling myself I was just tired. Night shifts mess with your head. That's what I kept repeating. I went back to the living room and sat on the couch. The house felt heavier now, like the air had weight. Then I heard it. My name. Not shouted, not spoken, whispered. It came from behind me. I turned around so fast I nearly fell over. The hallway was empty. No footsteps, no movement, just darkness stretching toward the basement door. My phone buzzed in my hand. 12:29 a.m. That's when I realized something terrifying. I didn't sleep much after that conversation. The woman checked into room 210 without another word. I watched her climb the stairs on the camera feed, her figure disappearing down the hallway. At 3:03 a.m., the phone rang again. I already knew what room it would be. "Front desk," I answered, my voice tense. "Why did you move her?" the same man asked. I stood up so fast my chair scraped the floor. "Who is this?" I demanded. Silence. Then, "You shouldn't interfere." The call ended. I checked the cameras again. Room 210's door was open. The woman wasn't inside. Panic crept up my spine. I grabbed the master key and flashlight. I told myself I was being stupid, but my feet were already moving toward the stairs. The second floor smelled different. Old carpet, damp air, something metallic underneath it all. I walked past 206, then 207, and stopped in front of 208. The door was slightly open. My hand hovered over the knob. That's when I heard crying, soft, muffled, coming from inside. I pushed the door open. The room was dark, but the smell hit me immediately. Rot, mold, something dead. The flashlight beam swept across the room. The bed was stripped bare. The walls were scratched, deep claw marks like someone had tried to escape. And in the bathroom mirror, written in something dark and dry, were the words, "He won't let me leave." The crying stopped. Behind me, the door slammed shut. I spun around, heart racing. The room felt colder now. A man stood near the window, tall, thin. His face was wrong, features stretched, Eyes too deep, smile too wide. "You opened it," he said calmly. "Now you see her." The bathroom door creaked open. The woman stepped out. But she didn't look human anymore. Her skin was gray, her eyes hollow, her mouth opened too wide as she screamed. I bolted for the door. It wouldn't open. The man laughed softly. "Night shift always opens the door." The lights flickered. Suddenly the door flew open on its own. I didn't look back. I ran down the stairs so fast I nearly fell. I burst into the lobby, gasping, shaking. The clock read 3:17 a.m. The phone rang again. I didn't answer. I grabbed my keys, my bag, and headed for the exit. But before I could leave, the motel manager walked in. "You okay?" he asked. I stared at him like he wasn't real. "Room 208, I said. "There's something wrong with it." His expression changed, slowly. "You went in?" he asked. I nodded. He sighed deeply. "We keep it empty for a reason," he said. "Years ago, a man murdered a woman in that room, lived there for weeks with her body, killed anyone who tried to interfere." My blood ran cold. "Then he killed himself," the manager continued. "Since then, night staff never last." I quit that morning. I left town before sunset. But sometimes, late at night, my phone rings at exactly 1:47 a.m. When I answer, there's breathing, and a voice that whispers, "She's still inside." I didn't want to look toward the basement. Every instinct in my body told me not to, but curiosity has a way of winning. Slowly, I turned my head. The basement door was open, just a few inches, but I knew for a fact I had closed it earlier. Cold air poured out from the gap, rolling across the floor like the house was exhaling. I stepped closer. Each step felt heavier than the last. The light above the stairs flickered once, then steadied. I stood at the top of the staircase, staring down into darkness so thick it looked solid. That's when I heard breathing. Not mine. Deep. Slow. Patient. It came from somewhere below. I whispered, "Hello?" My voice sounded small, weak. The breathing stopped instantly. And in that silence, a thought hit me harder than fear. Whatever was down there was listening. I stood there at the top of the basement stairs, too afraid to move forward and too afraid to turn back. The darkness below me felt alive, like it was waiting. Then the voice came again, clear this time. "Come down." My heart slammed against my ribs. It sounded exactly like me. Same tone, same hesitation, same fear. I took a step back, shaking my head. "That's not funny," I said. The voice chuckled softly. "You already know what's down here," it whispered. "You just don't remember yet." My phone slipped from my hand and hit the floor. The screen cracked, but it stayed on. In the reflection, I saw movement. Not behind me, below the stairs. Something tall shifted in the darkness, stretching upward slowly. That's when I understood the truth. This wasn't a warning to stay away. It was an invitation. And whatever was calling me was very patient. I backed away from the stairs slowly, never taking my eyes off the darkness. That's when the shadow moved. It stretched along the basement wall, longer than any human shadow should be. It didn't walk. It slid. The light above the stairs flickered again, and for just a second I saw its shape. Too tall, too thin. Its arms bent the wrong way, like it was learning how to use them. I tried to run. My legs wouldn't respond. The shadow reached the bottom step and stopped, waiting. Then it lifted its head. I couldn't see a face, but I felt its attention lock onto me. That's when the lights went out. Total darkness. And in the silence, something brushed against my ankle. Not cold, not warm, just wrong. The lights came back on without warning, just like that. I was standing in the hallway again, alone. No shadow, no movement. For a moment, I wondered if I had imagined everything. That's when I noticed the smell. Old paper, dust, and something metallic. It was coming from the basement. Against every instinct I had left, I stepped down carefully. At the bottom, I found a small room I hadn't seen before. Inside was a table and a stack of photographs. I picked one up. My hand started shaking. The man in the photo looked exactly like me. Same face, same clothes. On the back, a date was written. 3 years ago. There were more photos, dozens of them. Different men, different dates, same house, same basement. That's when I understood the truth. The house didn't kill people. It replaced them. And whatever was upstairs now was waiting for me to finish my shift. I dropped the photos and ran. I didn't care about noise anymore, I just wanted out. I reached the front door and twisted the handle. Nothing. Locked. I pulled harder. The door didn't move an inch. I ran to the windows, hit them with my fist. They didn't break. It was like the glass had turned solid, thick, unyielding. My phone buzzed in my pocket. No signal, no service, just one notification. 12:59 a.m. That's when I remembered the rule. Never go into the basement after midnight. The house creaked behind me. Not randomly, deliberately. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. Slow, heavy, coming closer. I backed into the living room, my heart pounding so loud I was sure it could hear it. Then the voice spoke from behind me. "You're almost ready." And I realized something far worse than fear. The house wasn't trapping me. It was preparing me. The footsteps stopped right in front of me. I could feel its presence before I saw it. The air grew thick, heavy, like the house was holding its breath. Then it stepped into the light. It was me. Same face, same eyes, same clothes. But the smile was wrong, too wide, too practiced. It tilted its head slowly, studying me like I was a mistake it needed to fix. "My shift is over," it said in my voice. "Now it's your turn." I tried to scream. No sound came out. The walls seemed to close in around us, stretching, bending, like the house was alive. It reached out and placed a hand on my shoulder. The touch was warm, human. That's what terrified me the most. As my vision faded, I heard one last thing. A car starting outside. The owner's car, coming back. The next morning, the police arrived. The house was empty, no signs of struggle, no broken doors, no blood, nothing, just silence. I wanted to call for help, but my phone was dead, completely dead. Then I noticed something on the basement wall, a photo. It was me, smiling, standing where the shadow had been. And just like that, I understood. The house doesn't release its victims. It doesn't kill them. It replaces them. And now, I was part of its story, waiting for the next night shift. The wind outside whispered my name, and I knew it would never let me leave.